Wake up everybody, you know. Around 7 o'clock, 10 past 7. I might give only half for that exposure. I might leave the next half for tomorrow. Because that's approximately 37 minutes long. So I will run that for about a 15 or so. And then bring you the people in to understand how bad, how and why Colin and Bert have not taken a holiday yet. Why he who is the king massa for the African head house Negro, and then the poor African fella didn't understand. Them brothers and them leaving your Dr. Rowley in a mess. All fingers gonna be pointed at you. You will be one of the most hated prime ministers ever come across Trinidad. I know how hurtful a black man, and the people that behind it that orchestrating and killing all of we out. The people that behind it that ripping we out. The people that behind it that using you as a black man because they know their name. How many people is saying birth name? How many people is call about the rest of people's name? Everything is Rowley. Because why? You the leader. You supposed to be the leader, not a follower. And you watching this fickle-faced man and Alwari, Stuart Young, and all these other fellas and them that at the end of the day not gonna come out dirty and shamed and has been the worst. Like you, for a matter of fact, some of them might look to run for the PNM after they watch you tarnish as a black man. God help you. I pray for you. I pray to Almighty God, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, that one day you open your eyes. Yes, you done all your sins to pay for, because man can't do a crime and then pay the time. What good for the goose, good for the gander. And if it is, all them young people and people that break the law had to face the law. You, Alwari, all of you must and have to face the law of the land of Trinidad and Tobago. And boy, whoever come in, then we still have to face a PNM president and a PNM judiciary and a PNM ABC and a PNM police service and a PNM churches and a PNM this and a PNM that. Oh God! Give me back Manning PNM any day, anytime. All here. Wake up everybody, you know. This is something we did up before. When we did that with numbers was always big, yes. Because the Gong Report have been the #1 program. Not now, for a while. But the numbers have grown. It have grown near, far and wide. Hundreds of thousands of people listen to the Gong Report. Because if it have 200,000 people listening, them 200,000 people telling their father, their mother, their brother, their sister, their everybody. You know why? Because the Gong Report is the only morning program led by a mainstream radio station, 104.7 More FM, that are directly and challenging the government of Trinidad and Tobago in all their breaches in all their wickedness. And if it is mainstream media only do what we do in here and Lego the bombshells like what is Lego in here, boy, Trinidad and Tobago have a different mindset. But you know what? It's a PNM media houses too. Jamaican have to keep very focused. You must stand your grounds. You must push back. You must not give up. Giving up is not an alternative. You give up, you're done dead already. At least fight for life than wait to die.
What? This hour?
It's like David and Goliath, as I will remind you again. It's a nail going against a haystack, and we will come out victorious until, because why? People will come, people will follow, people will get involved, but it always takes soldiers with belly, people that understand to stand up and get the rest of our country together and to come on board to fight. Not violently at all, but to stand our grounds and push back and make everybody understand that we are the government. People will love to see that you, the members of the pushback movement, give up, go away. You know who will laugh most? Rowley, Imbert, Stuart Young, Convent Voice, the Lysing. Oh God, Fitzgerald. And I told you all they'll burn out of steam. The people of Trinidad and Tobago is 9-day wonders anyhow. They ain't no fight for nothing. They only studying to fight. I black, I Indian. I rather my own do me. But to study, we ripping them off. There's an easy take of a whole country. Because while them studying to fight each other and not unite, PNM and UNC, people, which is the people of Trinidad and Tobago, which is the government of Trinidad and Tobago, I'm going to rip them off. Easy take. It's like I'm going in a bank, I'd have no guards. What easy take.
What? This hour?
All ain't understanding or what? For those of you who ain't up already, or who ain't call out everybody, people gotta catch up. People gotta catch up.
Greetings, Ground Report, and to your listeners. I would like to present an expose this morning that will start with the appointment of the chairman of the NIB, National Insurance Board. And this is part of a spider web that has a lot of interconnecting dots that lead to the biggest, fattest, most obscene spider in the middle of this web. This spider is a white-collar criminal. This spider in the middle of this web has his hooks and claws into the cabinet of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. He has his hooks into several senior ministers of the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. And he has set his sights on a number of prime state-owned companies, assets and shareholding in Trinidad and Tobago. When the announcement was made that Patrick Bermudez was the government choice to take up the chairmanship of the NIB, that was very instructive. Patrick Bermudez is a close family member of Robert Bermudez. Robert Bermudez is the chairman of the Massey Group of companies. He is the chairman of the board of directors, and one of the board members on the Massey Group is a gentleman by the name of Patrick Hilton. Patrick Hilton is a Jamaican national. He is the managing director and president of NCB finance holding company that owns NCB Bank in Jamaica and also owns NCB Global based in Trinidad, which a company is headed by CEO Angus Young, the brother of Stuart Young, cabinet minister. Interestingly, the gentleman that ultimately owns NCB Global holding company and all the NCB subsidiaries is a gentleman by the name of Michael Leachin. Michael Leachin is the wealthiest person in Jamaica, and he is the 20th richest man in Canada. I submit to you and to your listeners that Michael Leachin is behind this play to have Patrick Bermudez installed as the chairman of the NIB. And I will present compelling information that will show his motive, why he's doing it, how he's doing it, and who is aiding and abetting this man. So before we go to that,
What? This hour? Trinidad!
Lennox Smith, good morning. While I'm doing this, brother, you go ahead. Let me organize a call-in researcher number 1 before we continue with researcher number 2. You go ahead, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed, of course. Good morning to all, Sanjay. I have an appointment around the next 15 minutes, so I know that you are capable and able. I want to say to the national community, I want to say to the pushback elements of the society, what we are doing, and I want to commend you, Andy, for spearheading the what I consider to be the infrastructural works and all the logistics on the ground. You have, of course, this is not a paid position, but you have been doing a wonderful job as if you were being paid, and that means that there is a passion, there is a nationalistic, and of course a patriotic zeal within your whole soul, as indeed the other members of the significant members, I should say, of the team, or whether it be Mr. Amar, whether it be Mikey, whether it be, of course, other persons who have been putting their shoulders to the wheel. And I think that must be mentioned. Too often, one is criticized unreasonably and with the lack of information. And I want to say that without efforts such as these, certainly the mass of humanity that would have descended onto the savannah in, of course, pushback 1, pushback 2, and then, of course, only last Saturday at the promenade in San Fernando, in spite of the challenges, and of course, it also gives credence to the strategy that has been adopted by the collective of intelligence and intellect that has been put on this, been able, of course, to get our way within the context of our constitution, even by the agencies that are supposed to protect us, they too seem to want to pursue a course of action that could only benefit the administration, and therefore the enemies of the people, as the Rowley administration clearly have only intoxicated and, of course, poison, but they have also weaponized government against the people. And as you expose, or as we expose that from time to time, people will understand more and more. And of course, it's only the ground report can do it that way. And I want, of course, personally to commend you for spearheading that aspect of it. In spite of the challenges, all of us are human beings. We are going to make mistakes, but at the end of the day, when we learn from our mistakes, we can therefore advance and move forward in the cause of humanity and Trinidad and Tobago. Having said that, I want to say that I'm extremely annoyed this morning as well, from the perspective that I warned Desperados, arguably the most significant steel band in the world, that they had a right to push back and, of course, tell the administration, tell Dr. Rowley that he is mamagayin. That's to use a parlance, but of course, in fact, what he has done is disrespected and in a real sense carry Despers into a den of iniquities, because only yesterday there was a shootout at the corner of Queen and Nelson Streets, and of course the steel band has been transferred. In fact, there's a construction taking place for a so-called pan theater there, and guess what, the vehicle that was used to do the drive-by shooting, which killed one person and wounded a pregnant woman, was found at Low Place. What does that mean? It means, from a Lavantillian perspective and one who has been involved from time immemorial almost, it means that there is some kind of a gang warfare taking place between fellas on the hill and those on the around Nelson Street. It means that, therefore, as I predicted, even before the project would have been completed, Desperados will be in problems, having regard to the fact that its base came from on the hill, and therefore we're talking about some serious development taking place, in spite of Dr. Rowley's illusionary position and warning that he would be disappointed if that Desperados new place of operation turns out to be a spawning ground for crime and criminality. Well, it has already started even before the completion of that particular facility. Dr. Rowley, and of course it is an indictment on the leadership of Desperados. They had to tell Dr. Rowley, thank you but no thanks, we prefer to remain on Tragarit Road, and that piece of real estate would prove to be much more beneficial to Desperados, and accessibility as far as criminal activities are concerned will have been minimized, and therefore the steel band could exist in peace as it continues, of course, to do what it does best, and that is to say, to not only entertain but to represent Trinidad and Tobago culturally. Unfortunately, this omen has shown its head, and therefore again blatant and unadulterated exposure to Desperados, and to demonstrate that Dr. Rowley and they are about themselves, that they are criminal in nature. That to me is a criminal exercise, sending people to their deaths and maiming. And Dr. Rowley will have the audacity and the temerity to tell people that when tourists come to Trinidad, they will come around, of course, giving himself some kind of kudos for the reconstruction of that vanity project, talking about the Whitehall, without considering that children needs laptops and food and so on. Come around the Savannah, drive around by the president, come down Charlotte Street, and then find their way to Nelson Street. What a savage and the most wicked luring of persons and deception that, of course, must not be tolerated. And Dr. Rowley's days, as I said, by the ending of the first quarter of this year, must give some indication that this administration, his administration, his mafia enterprise, his criminal enterprise known as the PNM, must be departing office.
So you have researcher?
I told you so.
Nice.
You have it?
Yes, we have research. Yes,
indeed. Okay. Yeah, so I will be out for a while. Of course, I will be keeping in contact and in tune. Just about 15 minutes I'll take before I return. So you have a wonderful one, and of course I know that information is valuable, and people will listen attentively.
Nice. Researcher number one, because we want to deal with researcher number two. We want to finish the expose, which we will. You go ahead, researcher number one. Talk to the people. Let them understand what's at risk when it comes to NIB. What's really at risk?
Boy, we in trouble there, boy. We in trouble there, boy, Andy, boy. What's wrong? We want to commend researcher number two on his investigations and how he deals with things in depth as well, right? But the clip that we play, you hold back that clip, Andy, for when we have to address issues with Bermudez.
All right.
So we go just make sure to keep the NIB when we dealing with the NIB, so we wouldn't mix up which Patrick with what now, because Patrick Bermudez has nothing to do with the NIB. The Patrick with the NIB is Ferreira. So we will play the clip when we are addressing the issues with Bermudez outside of the NIB. We don't want to mix it up at all. You understand?
Yes.
Because some people can get mixed up along the way, then, so we don't want to do that. You understand? Andy, here what going on, but you see the same exact thing we were speaking about yesterday with the NIB. How they set the narrative in the media and in statements released by the companies when they want to crash a company. No, watch that. We saying this without apology. No, we could back up what we saying. And you have in your possession a copy of the TSTT the consolidated financial statement. And the page that you are looking at in question there, Andy, is the income. Money received, money expended by the TSTT. You understand? Andy,
Yes.
you seen it there?
Well, not yet, but you go ahead by the time. I point it in place, cuff, paying it up.
Alright, lovely. Now, Andy, what we were told by the media, and I challenge anybody now to take out their devices and pull up, and they will see within the last month, because the release was made by TSTT on Monday the 17th of January. They came out and they say, hey, here what's going on. Lisa Agard let out a statement saying, we need to have discussions with the union, because that is Mr. Clive Landem, right? We need to have discussions with the Communications Workers Union, because TSTT is in urgent need of restructuring. When you pull up the Newsday article, people, Express article, forget researcher, pull up all the articles in Express, January 2022, Newsday, you will see all in Starbrook News in Guyana, where they regurgitate things from the Express and the Guardian, etc., right? Where they're talking about this throughout the Caribbean. The telecom giant in Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, people walk on they're going on the breadline just now. The first phrase in the Newsday article, I'm giving it from what the media give you first. So when you hear we say that they set a narrative that if you don't have documents and figures before you, you are immediately misled. And that had to stop. I heard last night one Corel Douglas starring on CNC3 in a 3-part series. He is the legal and enforcement officer of TAT, the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. And we want to commend the gentleman on his good work. At least we hope. Because he is in a series right now dealing with fake news and disinformation. You understand? And he said they are putting regulatory measures in place. Well, I want to advise him when he putting these measures in place to go and knock on the doors of the NIB and go and knock on the door of the STT CEO, 180,000 a month CEO Lisa Agard. Because when you sell a bogus narrative, and you see that is the thing about the STT, no, we have to understand exactly what's going on here now, Andy. First line in the Newsday article, citing, among other things, forget the other things, because Ole ain't telling we about it, citing, among other things, a $453 million decrease in revenue in the last fiscal year. TSTT has called in trade unions representing its workers for talks on restructuring. This was revealed in a media release on Monday. End quote. I have no quote.
Talk, yes.
Right? This is what they tell us. Right? And they come with a whole set of things. Oh, TSTT revenue decrease because people ain't using landline and things like before. People using WhatsApp. And because of that now, we need to have urgent restructuring. So we calling on the union, Ella and them fellas here, all you come in. Because we need to get a cut here. Well, from Elder, we got this figure. We cannot confirm this from TST.
But watch. Hold on. That's the thing that I put on the screen now, right?
Right.
Right, let me put it on the screen. So for those of you who look onto Real Media TT, nice, it's on the screen there. So what are we looking at?
No, Elder was the one who told us about the number of people that will be going home. Right? He told us the 450 figure. I have not seen a release from TSTT saying that. I have not heard the government say that publicly, but this is throughout the Caribbean, not on social media, but on mainstream media, that 450 plus workers of TSTT will be going home. Now, Andy, we want the people to see this document as clearly as possible. Right?
Yes.
We are watching, right now, I just feel we in some kind of accounting class or some kind of thing this last 2 days here, no, on the ground report, no, Andy. But the people need to understand these books. These are our books. They belong to us. The reason why the acts and the laws of Trinidad and Tobago says that they must be laid in Parliament is for us to see what these people are doing with our monies. October 2019, TSTT went and borrowed $400 million worth of money. They conveniently took $300 million in US dollars and they changed $100 million. I had to call it that because I find it passing very strange that the exact amount of TT dollars that they got, the 680 million, equated exactly to 100 million US. So I am hoping that TSTT would not have made a request for 400 million US, Andy, gotten 300 million and got the rest in TT, and somebody else would have changed that US. I am hoping not. But let me deal with what we have before us, what is factual, what is documented and recorded and submitted and laid in the Parliament as part of the consolidated financial statements for 2021. Andy, you seen the document in front of you there?
Yes, yes.
Rendering of services, $2.041 billion, 2021. 2020, right next door, $2.45 billion. So we are seeing here, right, that in 2020, they received over $400 million difference in truth for rendering of services. Let's go down to the third item, revenue from contracts with customers. We see here a total 2.045 2.498 for 2020. Andy, we also see here gross profit. I'm showing you something here. In 2020, $400 million more. But Andy, I want you to go down to the bottom of the balance sheet. So I'm showing you where the narrative was built. The narrative was built up on top. We are sure that the people, what they told us, that the revenue that we got in 2020, we dropped by in excess of $400 million in 2021. It is true. Nobody say no. Newsday put it as the first line in their article. Express and Guardian has it throughout their articles. And what they were doing is not that Newsday, Guardian, and Express just decide to write that, or they even watch the document for that matter, like we are doing now. They were regurgitating what was put in a media release by TSTT the Monday, the day before. Andy, let us go down to the bottom there now. Let us go down to loss after tax.
Yes.
93,625,000 was the alleged loss after tax in 2021. And in 2020, the loss after tax was million. 93,625 million. This year is thousands. And 277, almost 78 million in 2020. You understanding where I'm coming from here, Andy?
Yes, you go ahead,
Let's
research and
go
talk.
down.
Yes.
Right. Let's go down again. In 2021, go down about 5 items, you will see other comprehensive income for the year. You will see 302 million profit income. It does not have a bracket around it. When you watch the subheading, when it has a bracket around it, it denotes a loss, people. It denotes a negative deficit. Net total comprehensive income for the year now, Andy, 208,635,000 profit. Andy, I wonder if you understanding where I'm coming from, boy.
That is the same thing. That is like the same thing to do with
Andy,
with what you talked about yesterday too.
Andy, whichever line item they want to use in the balance sheet here, I wonder if you understand what I'm saying here. We are seeing that they made a net. The only thing, you see, we like to be categorically correct here, and we want to be categorically correct. Under finance costs, we see finance cost is 309 million. We see for the year before it was 200, and for now finance costs is where them paying interest and this and that on loans, etc. Bills are associated with loans. What we are seeing here is the loss before tax. We want to be categorically correct. When you make certain losses and whatever, and this is why with these balance sheets, we need to pay close attention to the activities of these people. Because they have taxation credit. When you make losses in certain years, you have taxation expenses. And you, at the point in time that the board sees fit, they could apply accordingly. So in this instance here, they applied the taxation credit, which gave them a nudge to explain why the loss after tax, the 93 million, would have been less than the loss they made the year before. But jump high, jump low. So the only thing that they have any kudos with, because we want to be categorically correct, is the loss before tax would have been 222 million, and the loss the previous year would have been 174 million. But Andy, we want to take them, regardless of the 128 million that they applied and add on as taxation credit. Instead of charging tax, they apply the tax and add it towards their profits, which all companies are afforded this opportunity when they have made losses generally. The point what we are getting at, in the same breath like with the NIB, when you are checking for a company, you check your income from all sources, regardless of what it may be. So if they claim that the total income for the year and it is 208,635,000 in the positive, in the surplus, in profit.
So if the profit
to the year before, where in general, in total, they could have said that the company this made a $474 million loss. What I'm trying to get at to, Andy, is we have to be very careful with these accountants and how the books are adjusted and manipulated. So the small people like us can't understand what is going on. I'll show you how from the top they say, hey, $400 million decrease in revenue is what is causing us right now to push for this restructuring. But in the bottom of the balance sheet, when they have taken into consideration all the incomes from every source and their total comprehensive income for the year, Andy, is $208 million.
Well, the overall company is profiting $200 and something million. And if it's so,
right,
why are they going to send home workers?
Right. And if what we are saying is not true, that's why I tell you, give them the benefit of the doubt with the laws before tax. But at the end of the day, if there are systems and measures in place internally in my company, in the way that my books are crafted and drafted, where I end up making a profit, a $208 million profit, and we see it below, the $208 million was attributable to the equity holders of the parent company. So this is what is attributable to shareholders, to we the people and whoever other shareholders in TSTT. $208 million here that was made for the year overall. You understanding where I'm coming from, Andy?
Yes. Wow.
At the end of the day, what we are trying to show is how we are easily misled with the figures and what is pumped into the media. Andy, many a time we don't even have to believe these figures. Sometimes you just see items, other expenses, no explanation, other liabilities, other obligations, other income, no explanation whatsoever. We don't know where the money coming from. We don't know what the money spending on. We don't know which are the people that are being owed the money. The opposition leader spoke about how much billion plus people are owing TSTT. But TSTT going and borrow almost $3 billion in October 2019. Did that result in the loss for the financial year 31st of March 2020? Because that loan would have been in that fiscal year. The fiscal year for TSTT starts on April 1st. So on April 1st, 2019, for the year ended 31st of March 2020, this was the fiscal year in which they went in the October and borrowed almost $3 billion. 4x7 Andy is 2.8 billion dollars. TSTT went and borrow. And then you come in the next year here now, bright and early now, to tell me, hey, we are dropping revenue. Hey, we had a restructure. Was the same thing when they acquired Massey Communications. You went and paid 200 plus for Massey, and then jump high, jump low. You come after the fact now and telling we is pressure, and the next thing we know is TSTT people on the breadline. Go home. You come back now here in 2019 now, borrow that ridiculous sum of money. You understand? And come here now in early 2022 here now to threaten TSTT workers again. This has to stop. We are fed up of being deceived. We don't want to be manipulated anymore. Let Karel Douglas from TAT go and check out that. At the end of the day, we want value for money from these people. You hear what the Prime Minister saying yesterday down by Nutramix? He's saying, I putting it in my words. I am putting it in my words. You understand that in other words, the succession or the progression of public servants, where they get to reach up the ladder in the public service and they reach the PS, etc. and whatever. He said, if it's up to me, I change that because he wants to be able, or whoever should be able, this is how he said it, that they must be able to appoint people as PS, permanent secretary, from in the private sector. How China running all their affairs for themselves. So what you saying then? We don't need our government then. We need our private sector. This is why boiling down to Andy. The private sector had to run the show, and we just had to go to the floor and make the rich richer. How is making the rich richer benefiting the 99%? How is giving Sabga 70-something acres of prime land in the pre-sale industrial park? How is that going to benefit any of us? Sabga and all these big boys and Bermudez and all of them don't even have their parent companies in Trinidad and Tobago incorporated. They carry the incorporation in other islands, Barbados and Jamaica and the like. So when it's time for taxation, we ain't where the money gone. We have nothing to collect from them, but they are benefiting from the lion's share of everything in Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Amar brought up this thing yesterday with the BRICS. You understand? These people claim, take over Carlton Savannah. First Citizens Bank had to come in receivership. First Citizens Bank had to get involved and put it in receivership in 2013 because it gone belly up. Bomb shot. October 2015, a company was incorporated called Superior Hotels Trinidad and Tobago. Bomb shot after that in 2017. We went through some private transaction. FCB decided here what going on. Superior Hotels was the best bid for this place. Superior Hotels run by the Rahel, the Aboods, and the Smith. Take over this here now. Borrow immediately millions of US and TT from First Citizens Bank. Get a deed of lease. Drafted now where the lease was assigned, or I should say reassigned, to Superior Hotels. And then Superior Hotels back to First Citizens Bank again. So we just make a loop. Anytime this BRICS gone belly up, First Citizens back holding the rubbish again. I'm sorry to call the people and think that. I am just saying it as it is. I wonder if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, boy.
Same thing with the Renaissance. Them big towers down in the west that Mr. Amar alluded to also. When the Prime Minister was there, in the dying days of him being the Minister of Planning and Development, these fellas got their approval to build down there. Lo and behold, it gone belly up. It had an article in the Guardian. Banks left holding large properties when private developers over budget. Done by Anthony Wilson back in 2015. So this is not no now come thing. We don't want to hear nothing. You see, we 28 acres in Rocky Point in Tobago, we don't want to hear about no superior hotels, nothing. We don't want to hear about that. You cannot pick up prime property. Them feel there's some kind of thing. Them trying to make some kind of flick like in Florida. Where all them big boys and them go pull a duplex and pull a townhouse and everybody living large up there on state land. No. Rahel and Aboud want to build a hotel, pull out all your money from all your bank account, ask all the people who seeing about all your trust fund, make a withdrawal, make a loan against all your own money and all your trust fund money, and go and buy land and build all your hotel. All the set of concession, imagine Gopi School and them, gain them 7 years tax-free, Fali. 7 years tax-free. According to what was put in the newspapers, because me ain't seen no document. According to what was put in the newspapers, 7 years tax-free. These multi-millionaires in the bricks. Randall Mitchell and them had the belly to come on the screen and boast. We give them 12 million foregone in duties to the customs and excise. We give them that blind. We give them that play. But poor man can't get nothing down here. Poor man, you're squeezing them. Men who is billionaires, no? Them fellas pull out more than 200 million back from First Citizens Bank. You understand what I'm telling you?
And First Citizens is the people of Trinidad and Tobago Bank.
The people are telling you that the thing went into receivership with First Citizens.
It's like
Receivership means.
You know what? You know why I watch that? It's like them taking we money from we, buying we thing with we own money, profiting with we thing with we own money, and them pay out a cent. Them pay out 1 cent, boy.
Nothing. And the poor man here now catching the tail, and the government coming to charge me property tax, you know, to give them fellas tax concession to bring in things. Well, I want to know what I'm bringing, so. Because to get exempt $12 million, you have to bring in ham, lamb, and jam. Your bill must be close to 100 million in thing you bring in. I start to do a little basic search on all of that, and all I see is a set of chair and all kind of thing all they bring in. Chair from China, chair from Dominican Republic, bar stool. We are with ways and means partners. We moving with Jesus.
Hey, but what?
I want to know what I get apply on.
Researcher, that tax concession they come like that 12 million, which is we own, where they give them just so, which not adding up unless it's $100 and something million. It look like it's that same 12 million is what buying the chairs and them in all these other countries, boy. What went down to the tax and all the hitting, boy. Oh,
and watch out, that was just a simple refurbishment a hotel them do now. This is not that the Carlton Savannah had to be built from scratch. No. I wonder if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, man.
The CET application that Superior Hotels made in September 2017, I tell you, we don't talk. We just deal with facts. When they made the application for a certificate of environmental clearance to the Environmental Management Authority, the EMA, it's for a refurbishment of an existing building. So them just pour on an ice name, pour on a new sign, and bring down some stool and chair, and woo, wow. You understand? Andy, enough is enough, no partner. I tell you, no. When Aboud and them announced this bricks here back in 17, they bought it costing them 300 million to do over this. I see the media come out this weekend and bought it cost 400 million. Well, we don't know where over 200 million in US and TP come from. It come from the First Citizens Bank, the people at Trinidad and Tobago thing. To begin with, Dr. Rowley have to lay in Parliament for we. You will do it. You hear what we telling you here today on the ground report? We calling the shots. You will lay in Parliament how much money FCB sold that Superior Hotel, that Carlton Savannah in receivership from First Citizen Bank. You will get that information for us through the Ministry of Finance and put it in the Parliament. We want to know and we will know. Have a nice day. Let me tell you something. You see that A&V thing, it now started. It now start. That A&V oil and gas. We are not taking this thing about no arbitration. You hear how David Lee break it down last night? You understand? This here wasn't no political witch hunt. This is something that was taking place. It have documentation where Kroll and them was interviewing Stephen Awa and them, all these former vice presidents, whether it's custody transfer, whether it's what. And the men was saying they tried to chastise the A&V before and they had to reinstate them. They tried to suspend the A&V. They had to reinstate them. Not once. You understand what I'm saying? We not taking that. We don't want to hear about no arbitration. Why when Deborah Peake, who is leading the legal team for Petrotrin, tell all the hey, come and say with your own mouth that it has no deadline to appeal the arbitration? We don't even talk, no, we just check with things. Why when Deborah Peake, who leading your Petrotrin legal team, say, hey, we have to appeal this, boy. We have to appeal this. You sit down there and boy, we are appealing nothing. We just going and pay this man $1 million. But for us, our time to carry Folly in court. Boy, all little rock so boy, we coming back for you. Have a nice day.
Whoa, 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 whoa. And we still have researcher too to come in, you know. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, the lines are open to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You're on par with the biggest scandal after Petrotrin, after A&V, oh God. All is everything to go and clean out. The lines are open. Morning caller. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Pleasant morning.
What I'm saying is that them fellas and them, the UNC government, the opposition should hire them fellas and them researchers and them to bring all them information to lock up the kingpin Rowley and all of them. Them sort of bandits. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Good morning, caller. Go ahead.
Andy, good morning, my brother Lennox, Mikey, researcher, and the team, right? I'm just reading a report that was published in one of our daily newspaper. Did you know that the gas stations that NP own are worth $1 billion? The lands that the gas stations sit on, and I was reading that NP said when the government sell off those land, the kind of profit the government going to make. That is why they want to kill NP, and they are going to send in information for you, and you'll read it later.
All right, thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Princess Song. Let me tell you something. All the corruption this PNM doing, all, right? There's a unit called the anti-corruption in the police. Where are they? Are they sleeping? Are they looking for a little thing where a man sell a candidate transfer in 7 days, and then say they can make a big case? Why are they not making attempt or investigation about this massive corruption about the government? Why? Is it because it is run by the political PNM dictatorship party, and a dictatorship government is like that? When a dictatorship government is in power, even the forces out there are under control by them. And this is not fair at all. These anti-corruption officers need to investigate the government alleged corruption that is coming out on this media. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy. Morning, caller. Go ahead. Let us know where you're calling from.
Morning, Andy Sawaya. Andy, according to Transparency International, we have no corruption in this country, boy. You didn't hear that in the ratings? They say so this year, like they get bribed too. But let me touch on something the researcher was talking about Petrochin and the arbitration there. When as soon as the matter end up in court, right? They cancel it. Deborah Peak say that all they room to appeal the matter, and they say they ain't gonna appeal that. But the other doesn't matter here with Vera Bajan. She went she case, and it's a small minuscule thing, and yet the state with a senior counsel appeal that for disabled person to go after she. You see the difference here? Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy. Morning caller. Where you calling from?
Good morning, Andy, Lennox, Mikey, and everybody in studio. Reporter, Mondays on the other side. The names that I just called there with the AV. Yes, an ENP meeting where the union and the board and the president, through that same gentleman you call, they was doing an audit to see what is the true barrels per day Petrotrin was producing, because the union had a negotiation going on and to full vacancy. They checked all the farm out, and yes, they did come up with the results. And when they went to the board, the president, back at that time, remember they changed 2 presidentship in short time before they put Espine. This was the agreement between the union, and I want the OWTU President General to come out now and say, if they had an oil audit to know how much barrels per day the farmer was doing and Petrotrin was doing, when ENP didn't make the profit. So I want Trinidad and Tobago and Stuart Young to know the stupidity talking. They will try to cover up, but let Jacob know that they can hide, but they can't run. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Morning caller. Where you calling from?
Morning, calling from Carnage. Ground report morning. Randy, for years, we Twitter 1 and 2 have been bringing a lot of things to the general public, right? With allegations of corruption and the opposition, well, for the past 6 years. I want to go back more than that. With this credible information, no form of investigation by the regular authorities, the opposition. So this kind of information in the general public, what the opposition is doing with it, this is high-level corruption. And we just sit on a morning program bringing information for how many years and nothing incredible that could stick. Where this information was after researchers and them do the research? Where it led to? Why no investigation? Why we see nobody being locked up? What the opposition is doing? You all have 410,000 supporters. Level corruption, left, right, east, west, north, and south, and only after that PR every morning. Doctor, I'm listening.
Thank you very much. Morning caller.
Hi, good morning, Andy and Lennox and Cuff, and to everybody, good morning. I want to ask the gentleman who just called, what do you want the opposition? They are in opposition. We are seeing this one, we are hearing this morning that this man, Ramesh Lawrence Maraj, is to send a reaction protocol letter to David Lee for raising that same issue last night. Or I don't know if it was Sunday he raised it, but he raised it as well last night. What do you want them to do? The opposition cannot arrest or charge anybody. That is the job of the DPP. And if it is that the DPP is sitting down and twiddling his thumbs, they can't do anything. The most that they can do is raise issues, what we are doing here, and raise issues on the platform or go to court. Send them some pre-action protocol letter or something. But there is nothing much that they can do about it. Now we are hearing, now you see, Andy,
yeah, go ahead.
Some of these people, I want to know if Lawrence Maraj feel that we, who were deprived, should not speak about anything what it is went on there. Where is Vidya Devki Singh, the sick man who was measuring the oil? Where is he? Nobody can find him. You understand? When Franklin Khan stood up in the Senate and he praised ANV for the amount of oil that they were getting, then all of a sudden when the mark bust, is because Oliveri was fired and everything went quiet. Why didn't Deborah Peaks appeal that judgment? There are so many loopholes there. You cannot be blaming the opposition for those loopholes. The most they can do is to raise of what it is going on now with Ramesh Lawrence Maraj wanting to sue everybody for even mentioning it again. You understand? Now, before I leave, Andy, I want to say that I was very proud of going there on Saturday.
Yes.
You understand? I was very proud. I was among one of the thousands that were there, and I am so proud of all those that turned up. And you see to the ones who keep saying, we come in, and they're not coming or criticizing what we're doing, always sit down home. You understand? Sit down home and situations will get resolved. I don't care. The police might have tried to stop us, whatever, but that is okay. The important thing is we show them that we could have gone out there and do what it is we had to do. And Lennox is saying that we got an hour and a half, but to my knowledge, hour, but it was an hour well spent. Thanks a lot and have a good morning.
Thank you very much, Miss Santa Cruz. Oh boy. So truth. So truth.
Stand your ground. Push back.
Morning caller. Where you calling from?
The big old man. Morning to Andy, morning to Mikey, morning to Cuff, morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, anytime I hear anybody talk about the opposition, that is my pressure, you know.
Yes.
What do you want the opposition to do? This is not a first world country where the opposition have power that they can bring it before the house and they will lock up people. Whatever the opposition bring before the house, the speaker turn it down and let it end it. We don't want you to do again. If the camera come out and say, alright, I'm coming out and I want all these people behind it to support me, half of them will come out. So you have to understand the DPP is PNM, the Chief Justice is PNM, all the judges is PNM, the Commissioner of Police, everybody is PNM. So that's a David and Goliath fight. So the opposition could do nothing until the election is called and they get God smile on them and they get back in office. They could do something. But don't call out about the opposition can't do nothing. The speaker, the house controlling everything. The opposition can get up and say anything she wants. The speaker will say, sit down, I have no time for that. And I the end it. All you understand what's going on, man. I've vexed this morning. And no contests are gone.
Thank you very much. Morning, caller.
Good morning. Yeah, I understand it's true, you know. The guy just says it's true. The PNM control the DPP, they control the EBC, they control the police, all the big hard police, they control that. They control the law association. So they could break that. What I say, them design the law for their own gain. They could do what they want, all the wrong what they want. They could kill and get away, and nobody can do that. This country is very corrupt. PNM is in charge, and the 1% is big one is the mastermind behind all of that. Them just use the PNM as a puppet to get the vote, so they can get the treasury and do all the wickedness they want. The mastermind was the people controlling all the money. Follow the money, and they're going to know who's the people controlling. Is the 1% controlling everything? PNM is just a puppet. They will just vote bank for the 1%. All the people all use all their head now, man. Use all their head. PNM is just puppets. Is the 1% is the mastermind. Follow the money, and they're going to know who's the boss. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Morning, caller.
Morning, Andy.
Good morning,
Lena, Cuff. Mighty K, Reverend, Robert Amar, Mr. Amar, Ruby Chen. Papa, 90 Tobago, Mother Bernie. Andy, I'm in the bathroom. I heard when the program starts. I came out of the bathroom already and your position can do nothing. All of them tell me that. Who can do something? I see a great listener, a great learner, you know. Who can do something? The pushback, Andy Williams, Anderson Wilson, you Mr. Santa Cruz, you Mr. Raketa. Who can do something? Who can do something? Who shall lead your soldiers to war? Who? Mighty Cat? Robert Abel is an old man, Kamala is an old lady too as well. Who shall lead who? Huh? The pushback movement? The 3-0, the 2-0, the 1-0, who has to do something?
Their position, they have their position, and their position is to fight in all other countries and worldwide continents. The opposition are doing, they are fighting back. So, who want to fight back? Second the president? Who? Anderson Wilson? Who? But somebody tell me who now? The pushback movement? Only let me get real share. Your position is saying as one or two real patriotic groups is really going out and fighting the fight by all the opposition MPs and I'm just laying back by. I don't know, they might be doing a thing behind the scenes. But don't come and tell me what the opposition can't do nothing by. All they making me get tired and weary by. When all the songs so by. So everything, on the 19th, on the day, on next month, or next 3 months, or for the next 3 years, what the opposition going to do? Just collect the same post, the same salary, as those in administration doing? Don't come here and step people and BS by. None of all you. But the opposition can't do nothing. The opposition has to fight the fight with all the people who have voted for them and stand up with the people. Don't come and tell me if the opposition can't do nothing, I can't do nothing either. And that can't make me no fear them, you know. Me can't fear them, you know. I for culture, I for the UNC. You are telling me for me too. What? You can't do nothing? I can't do nothing either.
Stand your ground. Push back.
Good morning, caller. Hey, access phrases. Stand your grounds and push back. That's the access phrase. Stand your grounds and push back.
And Tobago.
Yes, access
Good
phrase.
morning, Mr. Anderson.
We standing with grounds and pushing back. Access phrase, right?
Yeah, good
We
morning.
standing with grounds and pushing back.
And pushing back.
Go ahead.
Right. So I want to say, well said, Mr. Anderson. You know, you call. I want to say pleasant morning to them. Good morning to my kids who may off to school this morning and all your children who may going off to school this morning. See a sick train. Good morning to you and all. Here what's going on with me now, boy, and here why I give Anderson the head of the class this morning. Because we always say that we are the government. And if we is the government, then we is the opposition too. And if we, as the people that stand up for the rights and the justice in the country, and we have an opposition party that does fight for the people as we see, well then they and all have to stand up with we too. So go to the head of the class and they have a grudge this morning, and I have a serious grudge this morning. And sometimes they may find I coming down on the schools and them, but I have to, because a lot of injustice is taking place in these schools and them right about now. Now listen to this. School opening last 2 weeks back, right? These Form 5 students in Diego Martin North going in school and doing one set of wrong with the young students that coming out of school, that going out of school, the Form 1s and them, right? It so happened that my daughter, my friend, go on to tax a student. She in the midst of it, but ain't say nothing, ain't do nothing, ain't take no money from nobody. But here what the principal is telling my child, and I'm going on in that school this morning, you know, they better send the police. Because my daughter never did anything or say anything, she was a part of that being taxing or bullying of students and being suspended. When I called the form teacher last night to explain this to me, because none of the students who was being bullied or taxed point out my child, stating that she take money from them or do anything wrong. But she was in the midst, like stand up right there and witnessing everything taking place. Now if my daughter did take it upon she hand and grab the young girl who was taxing the little train and them and rough she up or hit she, now you know they would say she wrong for lashing the child or collaring the child. But all you come now and suspend my child because she never tell the student don't do that, or no, But how all you can suspend my child because she never say anything? What you want my child to? She's not the law, she's not the police, she's nothing. She's just a student. And suppose now she did go at the young lady who was taxing and she'd get beat up. That'd be a different horse of a color. So Diego Martin North, junior sex, senior sex school. Let me let all you know what's going on here now, boy. Right now, all have a teacher down in that school, he have a medical paper stating that he cannot wear no mask. And all had the man coming to school still sitting down in a room and getting and collecting a fat salary. So he not doing no teaching at all, he just appearing and collecting a salary. That is wrong. You understand? So I want to put Diego Martin North Secondary School and blast this morning. And not only this morning, at that time I call and I talk about the students and them only selling and smoking a set of marijuana in the school. Up till now, they can't dwell with that situation yet. Mr. Terrell, the Minister of Education, I want to look into the Martin North. You know why Ole will pay attention to them kind of school? Because Ole trying not going there. You understand? Ole will not pay a serious attention to these kind of institutions with these students and them. Because all your children is not going there.
Because black people children.
That's why the school have a bad name.
Because in the majority, it's black people children going there.
You understand what I'm saying? You think? So they won't pay no set of attention. What they will do? They suspend a child. They themselves care if that child get education. Because so long the school locked down from them children and them learning on set of online thing. We don't have internet. We don't have no device to do nothing. Them children them now going back out to school, the frustration might be coming out. Whoever, the devil are idle hands, idle things to do. You understand? But I don't understand why it is my daughter had to be home for 2 weeks when she never even take $1 from a student. You understand? And then the person now who was taxing the children, because she writes a report and talk the truth and state what exactly happened, she want to bring people now to this to damage my child. Well, here what's going on, Miss Lady, and I hope that all your parents are on the Gong Report and all others listen to the Gong Report because it's the only station, 104.7, and the only program on a morning that have a big listenership. So all the rest of the station will be listening to is crap. Anyhow, I hope they're listening. So I want to send a message to Sheena because she, all in my house, this girl has come and beg me to go in the library with my daughter, which I don't like too much because I've been hearing certain little things. You understand? Last week, Saturday, they went to the library to study, to do some kind of project. I warned my child, I watching the young lady attitude, she movements and the sneakiness she does move. And my daughter don't want to listen. Yeah, I'm my best friend, But because you can lie and pick up for the girl, always better enemies today. Till you end up getting suspended with the same person where you never did anything wrong. And I'm going on in that school this morning, I had to get the truth. And according to the results I get, I will come back at this. But I will scold my daughter for being in accomplice with that individual because means bringing up my children and them to be no thief, no bandit, or they do the right thing. You understand? And I had to put the Diego Martin North and blast. Look on and listen.
Oh boy. Teddy, if it is the same person, is your daughter's best friend. I understand what you're saying, But you have to understand something too, based on what it is you mentioned there, Teddy. If that's your daughter's best friend, and you admitting there that you realize something with the girl and this and that, and if it's that the person that interfere with the people, bully the people and take their money or however, and that is your daughter's best friend and she was in the midst of what took place, knowing that you as a father on the whole, again I stand to be corrected, already admitting that it's your daughter's best friend, that is not what he's saying, Goff. Come, let me hear what he's saying. All right, let me hear what he's saying.
No, I'm just saying is that he didn't know. He just suspected something, but he didn't really know,
All right, but he suspect, right? Right? Again, it's students. At the end of the day, Teddy is one of us, not now, but long time. But if it is, whether suspect or however it go, knowing that the school and the teachers and everybody know that that is the girl best friend, right? It's right that your daughter wasn't to get involved, to go to hit nobody or to tell nobody not to know if it go. But again, if it's your best friend, she could be able to say, hey girl, don't do that thing, or and walk away or something. So again, I may be confused, but look into it a little more before you go to the school and end up getting a different story to overcome. Right? So best you go to the school. When it's out there, it's a front burner and you all could bring out whatever it is, issues that you're having. Besides that, you heard the report from researcher whereby the biggest set of bandits getting away scot-free, going with everything. But the small people that breaking the law too had to pay the full brunt of the law. Morning caller. The access rate.
Morning.
Right, the access rate is.
Stand your ground and push back.
Right, stand your ground and push back. Hard, yes.
Hard, real hard. Now, good morning. And I want to say a few things here. Firstly, just to touch a little on the last discussion in terms of the opposition, I want to agree that the opposition is the one supposed to be, not the researchers are doing a very good job. But with that information, the researchers come, the opposition who also in certain areas had to have that information and feed the population with the information, the underhandling is taking place, so they could build the confidence of the people to give them the support. So I'm not in a support of anybody who's saying what do you want the opposition to do. The opposition is there waiting to go in government, and if they want to go in government, then you understand with the people and show why it is you want to go in government. Unless you have other alternative motives and your hand also in the cookie jar. Secondly, this thing with Petrochin and the arbitration and the talking about the appeal, I can remember with Petrochin matter in court, when the union appealed the injunction, the government, the senior counsels and more and all of them come up with the Chief Justice and all of them in the court to sit down on the appeal matter to remove an injunction. So you're telling me now, AV, who outsmart this company, this government and this country so much of millions of dollars, you do so and just gain them a pass with a tap on your hand saying that Petrochin erred in their responsibility to really prove that AV was wrong. Now here the technicality is that Petrochin erred and they didn't really prove, that Petrochin is wrong. Right? So we need to look into that, as we say. A lot of people blinded these prime ministers and them say they come to lie to the public and tell the public that Petrochin was a burden and this and that and the other, and they'll never tell people that Keith Rowley was in government when it is Malcolm Jones and them had to go to get permission for that WTTL plant in Pointe-à-Pitre, which cost $1.6 billion at the end of it, which today we didn't get one drop of revenue from that, but Petrochin had to pay. So we have to understand how we come and talk like you never know what's taking place. You're the longest service MP in the government. You know what's going on. So don't come and tell people that, oh, you're surprised what happened in Petrochin. They close off Petrochin to hide the folly. You understand? So, Andy, let me continue the fight, let me stay strong, and let me educate the people.
Thank you very much, and that's what we need to do. People need to know the Constitution. People need to be educated. People need to be informed. Again, on the grounds of Anderson Wilson's and many other people input, including my good friend to Miss Santa Cruz and Mr. La Hoqueta input, right? Well, I go get into politics, as I say, heavy politics when an election date is called. But to be fair, plenty of the issues that, and there's one know for fact, how the opposition intend to do it is up to them. But to be fair to the opposition, because lawyer for the opposition, this is where the PRO and the communication part of the opposition NATEC supposed to be doing, but to be fair to them, many of these issues, they brought it up. And they have been bringing it up like on their platforms and all those different things. The Monday Night Forum, on social media, on the, oh God, that is the Mahasabadem station on TV. Right? So the opposition have been doing that. They have been trying to also raise, because again, I don't know more peace for nobody when it comes to doing the work, but I must, to be fair, if I know for sure that they try to throw out, that they have been throwing out the things that we are talking about today, and when they go parliament, the game be down. On the Monday Night Forum, they're trying it, but mainstream media ain't really running with it, or however it go. But they have been trying it. If they have been successful in that's the other part. But again, to be fair to both sides, and to be honest with both sides, and both sides know for a fact that the opposition of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago have been piloting and talking about many serious issues. Like for instance, look, David Lee talk, and look, boom, Ramesh come out to say, hey, don't talk, you know. Right? So you all may be able to explain what all they mean in various ways, but let's go to the lines. So I respect each and every one of all our callers' contribution. Morning caller.
Morning. Stand up and push back hard.
Yes.
So I want researcher to see if he have the resources to research where Amplia has taken over all the infrastructure from TSTT, all the services. They're trying to make it look like TSTT now don't have any services and have no more infrastructure and everything going to Amplia as a company, and it would appear as though they're trying to close down TSTT and make Amplia now the
new TSTT. The new TSTT.
Yes. You know, and saying that how they're not making money, but they're making the money and hiding it under Amplia. That's what I am thinking is happening. Right? NIB now, when you see retrench all these workers, Petrotrin and TSTT, and you want to go to WASA, where NIB get any money from? Obviously, they will have a deficit. So this is engineered by the government, because the government of the day knows exactly what is happening, and they're not standing up to do anything to rectify it or to stop it. That's my contribution.
Wow. On Real Media TT, Gopal is saying Anderson Wilson spews so much bull. This morning my ears decided to start bleeding. Oh God. Oh God. Anderson Wilson like you raise a jumbie there. The people disagree with you, Anderson Wilson. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ground Report. Good morning. Push back and push back hard.
Right, push back 4.
Andy, I have a serious problem with people who come on the radio on a daily basis and prattle like parrot, and when time to do something about it, they still just talk and do nothing. How much they want the opposition to do? They listen on a Monday Night Forum. The lady tells you everything that is taking place and what is happening. But she's like a general leading a troop that when you look back, you see the handful of people and the same set of people every time. Senior people, young children, leading the charge with her. Over 300 and something thousand people voted for the UNC. And when time for it to matter, they don't come out. They don't come out. All they do is just come and talk and talk and talk. And even criticize people who are actually trying to do something. The ground report and other agencies that try to help and put in the 2 cents. But no, they prefer to sit at home and talk. I said it already. We have a lot of professional people, even on the PNM side, who are discontented about what's happening. Come out. There's no time to sit on the fence at this point in time. On a daily basis, we keep hearing all the corruption that is taking place. Because the time the election reach, we don't have a country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anderson Wilson, you raise hand. There's people who agree with you that the opposition had to come out no way. Because the people have been. Let's go to the lines. Morning caller.
I call Camilla Saturday morning and you should not call me. I want to tell you something to Andy. And all in all, we're talking. Next pushback all you have, what some people are going to see. Right? That one. Not the opposition senator or MP that's come out. But tell you something. All you can't tell me nothing, boy. I was by all protest, all demonstration, all work. All you just come here, you can't talk to me. And I stay in your position and I do more. Who's all here? Who's all here?
All right.
Why you call me Saturday morning, Andy?
Anderson, let me ask you something. All right, let me ask you something.
Why you call me in the morning? No, let me finish here.
No, you're staying
on. Why you call me in the morning, you push back too?
Right, and
I don't know what happened to me. Why you call me Saturday morning? Are you ready for me back?
Right, but listen, Anderson, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something now. Right, again, I in no way disagree with your view. I cannot disagree with your view. I somewhat have a view dressed like you. But
I'm telling you now, Andy.
But
I'm not telling you what you're doing now.
No. Listen now. You're gonna talk.
Anderson, so wrong.
No.
I'm just coming on the radio to say nothing wrong, boy.
Again,
telling you.
Listen.
It's about people that get. And I had it. All I
right, listen, boy. Anderson, listen before. Listen now. You're going to talk. If it's so, all you ought to do is lay your cards on the table again, explain to the people why you believe, Anderson Wilson, that the opposition of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago could play a major role in what it is we are doing, including pushback this one, that one, and that they have 400,000 people supporting them. Don't get angry, because I can lay a role why I believe that it's time that the opposition come out. I can't say that they have not been bringing all these things to the table, but I could lay a foundation based on the crisis in which Trinidad and Tobago is going through. I can lay a foundation like that. So I'll just give you an example to show you, Anderson Wilson. Instead of getting angry, instead of getting vexed, instead of being deterred because you are the government, you are the opposition, is build your case on why you believe that the opposition should be now more than ever playing a major role in bringing out the troops physically. That's debating. That's democracy. Let's go to the lines. I never tell you I disagree with you, you know. What I mentioning all of this is to show that a part that was disingenuous, and it may not have been with you, but with some callers, by saying that the opposition have not been bringing those issues to the table. If I, as a talk show host, allow that untruth, knowing that I know, and many of you know too, that is truth, that the people have been trying all how and bringing various things to the table, getting shut down in Parliament, having your Monday Lights Forum and all those different things. So it's a no that have the opposition, and I bring in David Lee to show, look, he bring a serious issue and look at the threatening, suing and all kind of thing. So all I do is clear the air. Mr. Anderson Wilson based on the non-truth was putting forward. Me no lawyer for no opposition. And the opposition had enough lawyers. In the statement you bringing her forward, they have to answer that. But yet still you have to come and bring it across. Sell it to the people. Sell it to the opposition that is listening. Sell it to because you disagree with Miss Santa Cruz, you disagree with one or two people, and all this. Sell it because they will hear because they're listening. Sell it to the people why you believe, and break it down, point in perspective, and win your case. Simple. Morning caller.
Yeah, morning. Push back and push back hard.
Yes.
When the man was telling you that, so the man is a very strong member, strong supporter.
Yes.
But everybody had the views as far as I can
right, and I respect his views.
Right, so what the man saying, the man might sound a little arrogant, but what the man is saying is correct. This opposition government and everybody in this country have been bullied for too long under this Prime Minister and this PNM government. So the man might not sound like how people might want him to sound, but he has his view, and his view is, and I have a view like that also, because I find the researchers them having all these information, and we opposition them saying no, and allowing one man to bully them down, and he have all the public, so he have the police, he have the wherever, he have everything under control. So the man is correct what he's saying, but he might have bring it across might be in a little arrogant way, because he's a strong supporter of the ground report. So people mustn't get hold of the man's view. Yeah, at the end of the day, we mean bully.
So you are saying your view, his view is also your view.
Yes.
And I respect that.
That's right, because we've been bullied too long. So the man have a way, he might sound a certain way, but it mightn't be to all the areas and here. Remember, everybody have an understanding of different things, you know. So people mustn't really feel what I'm saying. If a man giving you, but the end of the day, the man right in a sense, boy, how long we go take this bully boy? Nobody can say nothing. Nobody in this country can say nothing. All this shit going on. I'm going to take it. Well, boy, leave the PNM government, and let them mash up the place. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Whoa. Good morning, caller. Access raise. Stand your grounds and push back.
Very hard.
Very hard.
Let's be real here. When the commercial police, when the PNM was there, they was trying to investigate in the police. They bring big police from America, Canada, big commercial police and get in that position. What the government and the high police and them in the Trinidad do? They do all the corruption, wanted to get rid of them. When they get in close, when people investigate and they get in close to solve all the problem in the police force in Trinidad, the same corruption in the police force, the same government people get rid of them, push them and send back the foreigners and them. We need international help here. That's what we need. This opposition can't do nothing there. Because the KNM control the justice system in this country. They control all the law, all the big judges, everything. So you can do what you want. They're going to take it to the court. They control the DPP. They go throw away the case. They come make your hand tie in your back. Wait to do. You don't get international help. You have to call for international help to come in this country to save this country. Because the PNM is corrupting everything in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh boy. Next caller. Morning caller. Access raise.
Andy.
Go ahead, Miss Santa Cruz.
Again. Good morning again to everybody. I want to say to you, two other callers, the first one before Anderson.
Yes.
You understand? Yes, sir. You understand? Nobody is acknowledging what it is the UNC is doing. Some of them just sounding like empty dustbins banging on the pavement. We heard on Monday night Mrs. Prasad Bisase saying that she has written a pre-action protocol letter concerning that thing with the head of the NIB, right? We also heard her talking about what the one that she wrote to the Chief Justice concerning Vieira. So it's unfair to say that they are not doing anything, right? We are seeing people on the line are saying that the opposition needs to hit the street. What happened to all the protests? They don't look at it, Andy. You understand? They don't acknowledge what it is going on. But come here to sound like empty dustbins. Khadija, Dinesh Rambali, David Tanko and all of them. Everybody were doing it in their constituency. We had Victor Roberts doing his share. Everybody are doing their part in bringing awareness of what it is going on. And as some of the callers rightly say, the media is the main cause. The whole justice system and everybody are very quiet as to all the wrongdoing that is going on in this country. No, so how much the opposition going to talk? And as you mentioned before, the speaker don't want them to talk about anything. She's shutting them down every time. You understand? I know what I have to raise. I know what it is I have to do. Everybody know their part. And if we don't want to pay it, and Andy, this is not meant to offend you or anything, but you see that statement that you had made when they didn't want any politicians involved in it, you understand? That was the straw that broke the camel back. But we coming out, you understand? We are the opposition as well. That tape that you keep playing. And before I leave, I want to tell Junior Regrello, you're a hypocrite. You come here the day you call the station and say, we have to practice wearing our mask, social distancing, all the protocol, and yet still we are seeing a video of you and Randall Mitchell. You were among a set of ladies dancing and carrying with the bamboo song. Nobody was social distancing. Nobody was wearing masks, and neither was Randall with the other Randall Mitchell with the other fella. Where was the police who were harassing us on Saturday? Where were they when that video was being and that thing was being taped? Where is it? Truth. But you see, Andy, it's one set of rules for the PNM and it's one set for the other set of people out here. PNM can do what they want, which is the bottom line that we were all talking about this morning. They can do what they want and they are with it because nobody's holding their feet to the fire. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you very much. Oh boy. I also get to see public servant, the public servant lady. I see her, man. Saturday she really came out. Morning, public servant. Go ahead.
Push back, and we have to push back.
You have to push
because
back.
They're not understanding what we're saying. Pleasant day to you, my brother, and pleasant day to the listeners. As I stated before, on all the occasions that I've called in, it is not a political thing for me. I want to start with that. It's not a political thing for me. I'm just a citizen, a public officer, a mother, and a wife, and a PSA member, just looking back and seeing what is going on in this country. And as everybody knows, what affects me mostly is this mandate for public officers come February 17th. So when we assess the situation, the government came out with this mandate, and we started the pushback rallies. I wasn't there at pushback 1, but I was there at pushback 2, where we were faced with tear gas and rubber bullets. This made international media. Of course, all eyes was on Trinidad and Tobago. This made the Ministry of National Security look bad in terms of ethics and morals and the humane side of it. So we regrouped and they were pushback 3. The government knew pushback 3 was coming. They had to right the wrongs that they did in the previous one because they know that international eyes were watching. So they know that they could not come with the harsh measures that they did before because of the humane settings and the ideology behind our mission on that day, which was prayer. And they know that if you come to a people of God, whichever respective religion or denomination that they belong to, and you use that type of force, he knows, the Honorable Dr. Rowley knows that that will look bad again. And even more this time, because of the last backlash it had. So, what does he do? He sends out his officers to make sure that COVID-19 protocols are in place. He sends out his officers to make sure that the numbers does not look as they're supposed to be. He kinds of stifles the pushback in terms of having one on the promenade. Because remember, people, we need to remember, in numbers, you send a message. So they would try to stifle and choke the numbers as much as possible, as to not to give eyes to the citizens as to what's going on. But I will have something to tell you, Dr. Rowley, as a public officer. I'm not stupid. I have common sense, and I have the guidance of my God. So we have pushback 3. But pushback 3, unfortunately, is not coming before February 17th, which is the mandate for public officers. So what do? Do I write to the ombudsman? Do I write to Dr. Rowley? Do I write to the president? Obviously, no, because in the time that it takes for me to get a response, this mandate would have probably been made into law. So what do? I started doing the pushbacks. And well, I just explained to you what's happening. So, as a public officer, working on a 2013 salary, having to face the daily increase of cost of living in this country, that every time I go to the groceries to shop for my children, I have to be doing a balancing act as if I'm a clown or if I'm a circus, while I'm hearing allegations of millions being pocketed by the 1% in this country, and that is being stifled. Why? You want to know why? Listeners, listen why that's been stifled. Because unfortunately, the system was placed in place for the opposition to be the watchdogs for the government. They are to watch their every move and to report to the citizens that is going on, because these are our resources being spent. We put them there. But unfortunately, this country has been taken over with race, Africans and Indians. And because of this, these political parties have a face of race. The PNM is African, the UNC is Indians. And because of this, unfortunately, it has sunk into our political system. Because now, where we truly need persons and citizens to open their eyes and realize what it is going on.
And unite.
And these allegations are happening, and we need us to unite to deal with this government as to what is going on and to give answers to what is going on. We are faced with this barrier of this race. And we need to wake up. And I have a suggestion, because like I say, I just had to say that in. But I have a suggestion, because my problem and the situation that is on my heart and is in the trouble on my heart is this mandate for public officers come February 17th. And because Dr. Rowley and his honorable government are using politics as into stifling the numbers as not to highlight what's going on to the people, as when the opposition makes these pronouncements in Parliament and they play with the English language and words and play with the minds of the people of Trinidad and Tobago and think that we are stupid, and they try to stifle our voices. Well, you know what? I am throwing out a suggestion to all unions, especially my union, the PSA, Mr. Batiste. We need to shut it down. We need to shut down this country, because they have to understand that they have to
Oh, boy, talk!
They have to answer to us for all these allegations of corruption that Mr. Researcher has been bringing out. It has to come out to the people. They have to terminate this mandate for public officers, because at this point in time, it is nonsensical. And I went through all my phone calls explaining why. And nobody is hearing our cry, because everybody is there. The UNC is running to the Indians, the PNM are running to the Africans. And nobody is dealing with the issue, and they are getting away with it and running away with it. And I want to tell Dr. Rowley something. The God I serve and the God I contribute my life to, every breathing, living day of this life, will not allow you to put that mandate for public officers of COVID-19 vaccines come February 17th. And I claim it in the name of the Most High God I serve. And I'm asking the people to open your eyes.
Unite!
Remove yourself from this race. This is what is stopping the citizens of this country to see what it is going on. I am asking the honorable opposition, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. I am asking all MPs. I am asking all the ministers of this government. The people are crying out. And I come to you, Mr. Batiste, and all unions, Mr. Roger, all of you guys, we need to shut this country down. That mandate has to be removed for public officers. And I will not take up too much of all your time. God bless this nation. Have a good day.
absolutely, I want to commend that caller. I want to really say kudos to you, ma'am. You have hit the nail on the head. Only 2 Saturdays ago, Dr. Rowley came again and played the race card and talk about all of us came from an experience called slavery, and that let no one tell you that you are not capable of becoming a rich billionaire or millionaire because of your racial origin. And I think what you have said there speaks volumes as to the mamagai and the old talk and the subterfuge that Dr. Rowley has engaged in and made it frontline of his political foray. We saw that only in the 2020 August 10th general elections, when of course he talked about the banana and the monkey. And of course, the people in the southwestern peninsula, some 65,000 of them, gravitated to that emotion without realizing that it is Dr. Rowley and his government that has caused them to be in poverty and in a state of uncertainty and uncertain future as well for themselves and their children. And therefore, ma'am, I want to commend you. You are a true pushbacker, if I want to use that term. And therefore, I think you have spoken volumes there, and I trust that the entire national community would listen. Let me tell you this as well, that the very nature of the policy, as has been so much with every other policy initiated by this government, always counterproductive. They tear gas us, but they cause people to cough into each other's faces and sneeze into each other's noses, or should I say mouth, and then tell the population that they were attempting, of course, to conform to the health regulations. Oh, what a travesty! What a dangerous disposition and the promotion of a government that clearly has lost its way, needs to call an election early rather than later, and then of course make certain that we as a population are sufficiently armed and educated so that we can do exactly what you have suggested. And I want to tell you, you do not be fearful, you do not be in any way deterred by that particular policy, because it, just as the children have to go to school or had to go to school once they are vaccinated, or cannot go to school if they are not, well, the same thing will happen here. They will have to reverse that simply because the country will naturally shut down. Naturally, who would deal with the license in office? Who will deal with the Ministry of Works? Who will deal with the Ministry of Agriculture? Who will deal with the Ministry of the Attorney General? Who will deal with, of course, the Ministry of Health itself? Who would be the ones who administer the Ministry of Community Development Work, the Ministry of Social Development, and we can go on and on, because they are not going to see their colleagues after 20 years, 30 years in the service, and and those who would have taken the vaccine will not want to rally for and on behalf of their colleagues who, because they don't want to take the vaccine, have to stay home or lost more devastatingly lost their salary. No, I don't expect that of any civil servant. So, ma'am, you are correct, and I don't think there is a need for even the trade unions to tell them what they have to do. The country will naturally be shut down. Andy,
thank you very much. Yes. Oh boy. Public servant, I agree with you. I go just put politically that all unity is strength, and from the unions to push back to everything, although yes, Lennox Smith is right, this country needs a political shutting down, a reality wake up. Oh, Lord have mercy, help me.
And Dr. Rowley and Dave,
go ahead,
pardon the pun, but have shot themselves in both legs with that policy.
Nice.
Time for them to go.
Go ahead, caller. Morning, caller. Where are you calling from?
Yes, Silver Fox here.
Go ahead, Silver Fox.
Now, I listened to the program this morning, And I heard everybody going against Anderson. Anderson shouldn't say this, Anderson shouldn't say that. But let me say something to you all. Everybody in this country is suffering. The opposition suffering. Every single person who is not PNM and who is not in the PNM party is suffering. What we have to do, we have to shut down Trinidad and shut down Tobago. We have to shut it down, the villages, all the constituency UNC have and others. They have to shut down. Stop work, take 5 days sick leave. Every shops, stores, everything shut down in this country. We need help. We need help. The opposition is the second government, and they have to be the second person of the country. Regardless of how people see it, I never said for Camilla to come out on the streets. The country can shut down without we come on the street. We don't have to come for brutalization.
That's right.
We can stay home and shut down the country without anybody being tear gas or be pushed from where they are. We have to have sense now. We have to have sense. Close down all constituencies. And everything shut down in this country, Rowley will have to go. Rowley has to go. Regardless of what they say, or stop attacking one another in the country, in Trinidad, or you're attacking one another. This one with this views, that one with that views. Understand, everybody have a different views. If all the tree was one tree, what a great tree that gonna be. Anderson is right. The opposition have to help too. They are human beings and they are in trouble just like us. They are being shut down in Parliament. So if you're being shut down in Parliament, bring it outside. Don't come out in the street. Shut down from home. The whole country could shut down from home. Thank you.
Morning caller, access phrase. Stand your ground post. Go ahead.
Where is the union in Trinidad and Tobago? It is so simple to shut down this country, but when the government buy them fellas out, who's shutting down the country? All them unions and them is at the front. When was time for UNC there, Rowley, Roger would pull mannequin all over the place. But now it's PNM suffering people. Why do you pull a mannequin around you and take the street and call a nationwide strike? Do not attend to your jobs until all this nonsense for this. Why they don't do that? All of them get by out. The PNM have them in their hands.
That's why I don't trust no way, and that's just my personal view. I don't trust no way Rogers. I learned my lesson. Belmont teach me a lesson. Blind man from Belmont.
Well done, Andy. Well done, Andy. Well done, Andy.
Yeah, boy, Lennox, anywhere Rogers or anything Rogers a part of, I don't know. It's PNM. I don't trust it. Lennox, you know learning lesson. Blind man, you know blind man dead. Vexed with we.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we did say we want all and sundry, but of course, in recent times, somebody had said that call Mr. Amar, in fact, and say that they understand that the ground report didn't want the union at the pushback, and we made it very clear that we are firm in our position. The reality is that Roche is a failure as far as trade union leaders are concerned, but every member of the OWTU and elsewhere have been invited and welcome. He too, as a body, as an individual, that when I say body, I mean as an individual, but certainly that doesn't obfuscate, it doesn't take away the fact that he has betrayed the workers, the working class, even though, of course, the rank and file of the OWTU would be disappointed. He has utilized their money without any real rewards. I wouldn't be surprised if the OWTU is not broken, but at the same time, this particular movement, which of course is a new movement and one that is more relevant to Trinidad and Tobago today and moving into the future, and he must see himself and others like him as obsolete, Jurassic, and therefore really and truly cannot address the contemporary and modern 21st century Trinidad and Tobago as far as treating with the labor and the working class is concerned, and that is a reality.
Thanks, Miss Santa Cruz. And Miss Santa Cruz, right? Miss Santa Cruz, and all remember, we went against Belmont, the blind man, you know. That man leave out the going report. Went to the next program. The blind man say, hey, all you know what telling all you know. Roger is PNM. Don't get involved with nothing that Roger is. Anything that Roger is a part of is really in solidarity to the PNM.
Yeah, but we cannot judge ourselves too harshly, because at the time we were laboring under the notion that all hands are on deck at that time. Now we know we have to be a little more eclectic, a little more selective, and of course be critical where criticism is required, and tell people as it is, because this is a national effort that is required now. But people like Roger must know that they have a limited function. That is to say, they themselves as an individual can attend also, but they cannot. The fact that they have betrayed the working class, as far as we are concerned, we have a duty and responsibility to tell them as it is, that they are obsolete, that they are Jurassic, and they must, of course, now throw in the towel.
Check good. All where Roger moves he making, however it go, it's no moves he making for Rowley to go, you know. He more on if it's really about Rowley going, and Roger and all his clips and minions around him, that is in the pockets of the PNM. You telling me if he, Roger, and he's JTAM leader now, JTAM leader means he is the head control over all the rest of union leaders. That is
no. Certain sections of several independent unions, not all. There,
all right, well, meaning he's the head of a couple of unions.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You telling me if Roger is not PNM, or he really not serious about shutting down, sending a message, standing up against the government for all the wrong things, he all over trying to talk and do again and trick people. That is just how I take it, Andy Williams. You telling me this country can't go in that direction? What's stopping you from putting a mannequin around Rowley?
Yeah.
What's stopping you from coming out now to say, hey, you only remember the secret meeting or the $15 million or the secret accord? All the days were Rowley that promised me, days will be talk. What's stopping he now from coming open out? I watching it as he really know what the PNM going away.
Yeah. And
all his associates.
Yeah. And it would be disingenuous of anybody to equate Roger with the union itself from our discourse. We are saying that the membership must be separated from the man, the individual called Roger, as a leader who has failed. And what we want them to do is to think on their own volition, and make their own decision, and therefore participate in the pushback as anybody else. He can do so as an individual, but in terms of recognizing him as a serious labor or workman advocate, I think that's a bus that has long left the terminus and heading for this destruction once you are on that bus.
Thank you, caller. Morning, caller. Access race.
Pushback number 4 as soon as possible.
Yes, pushback 4 coming soon. Go ahead, caller.
And they use the ID fella from back for you to call you when you now got shot. Remember?
Yes.
Right. I'm a very, very strong supporter of this program. I want you all to recall when Roger went and talked to Rowley privately before they shut down Petrochin, and no reporter was there. Listen to what I'm saying. What I advise you all to do, a memorial service for Roger. He's already dead. Right, in my book, don't take him on, don't bring him in on your meeting or nothing whatsoever. Do try and avoid him as much as you could. And this country will go for that. These people, even people that are trapped, he get paid out, you know. He ain't about no kill people, you know. He want to pull the pocket. Alright, so be careful. God bless all you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to say a pleasant good morning to Baldio and his wife. A pleasant good morning to you all. Oh boy, that's cool. My inside here. Marad Shell up on that side. Good morning to you. Let's go to the lines. The lines are open. Remember the access phrase. Push back 4 coming soon.
Yes,
Push
indeed.
back 4 coming soon. Morning
Indeed.
caller. Oh, sorry.
Gentlemen.
Good morning.
Push back for coming soon. I did this morning. I want to understand saying, and what I have observed also is that the opposition is very laid back. Not really anxiety, they actually. So most
Wow. Listen, I want to get you good. Your phone breaking up and we want you. I want
Yeah,
you.
because I would love to hear
Call
him
me
as well,
back.
because-
Call me back now on the same line. Now on the
yeah.
same line. While I'm taking this
Well,
one. Morning caller.
If you can hear us, define for us what you mean by laid back. Because
That
I
your
mean,
position labor, yeah. Then let them only
just
define
define
it.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Lennox,
yes.
definition of laying back. I believe the enemy hear the man properly. Because he said that listen, I ain't going to hear him properly.
No, look here.
Let me tell you the definition of laying back.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Taking the bouncy too.
I wasn't hearing him either.
All right.
I wasn't hearing him either.
I heard.
All right.
Right, good.
So go ahead.
Give us the definition.
Lay your case because people supporting you.
Definition of it is taking the bouncy. Kamala, David Lee, all condition all.
Soft because you want everything come across.
Let me tell you something, Andy. When Robert Amal told people go, you ask how much of them have money to buy a bus ticket? You ask how much of them have money to buy a bus ticket? I woke up with how much money? And I know I started to spree and enjoy myself because I said, well, boy, oh God, boy, we're going south. Then Joyson came and meet Nanny Beaton, went up for Chubby and others, and he left go on, Andy.
Right, but no lay back. Go ahead, you go ahead. Where's the lay back?
How many people end up without passage to go home? No, somebody doesn't study that. It's Ruby Jen. One of the follow some single mothers, and I need to pick up now Ruby Jen. Right? All I get is true. But I want people to know, even though in supporting those who going out to protest, the opposition is in there. And all the past anyone in opposition there. But someone love Kamala and they love the UNC. Like how I love the UNC and I love them for country. But let me tell you something. The UNC take it up for top and watch it out of fight to the fight. And who can't see that something wrong with all this? Who can't see that something wrong with all this? I'll have these sick people. I'll notice something too. You can say, well, that's only that. Say everything was clear. But if they say something at the UNC, there's a bit. Don't call Kamala name. All name alone, eh? And for the public servant, who just called you honorable. We're only not honorable to be in the beaten here. And I got to teach you something. And good morning to you, Victor Robert, and all who intend to shut down the country. Public servant too late. Ruby just know what I'm talking about. It's coming. It's coming. Marvin Gonzalez coming. The public servant too late, Miss Lady. There ain't no pushback for there's a shutdown. And when I say shutdown, I mean the lava will be lit. The landfill will be lit. You come out there, there's nobody you can go to. Like when you get the 130,000 the other day. There's nobody you can go to wine. The country going and shut down. To spare this operation. So get out Dr. Roberts and anybody want to shut it down. To all communities, we're using less phones. Less phone talk we doing. It don't start at the audio. Public servant, I love you. Your contribution always 100%. I think everybody else love you. But you're late.
Thank you very much. Again, what we want is for somebody to define what you all mean by the opposition is lay back. And they are not here, only have to define it. Morning caller.
Yes, good
morning.
morning, gentlemen. Pushback 4.
Morning.
Arima calling. Now, all what it is going on here now with the opposition and what they're saying about the opposition, about the laying back, I know it was going to reach to this. Everything I say many months ago, I say it and it come true. All who used to be listening to me know I talk all about this. And when you see the place more destabilized, then I feel the opposition wouldn't be laying back. I feel they will have to do some kind of thing and join the pushback movement. I'm not going to say anything more.
Well, Mr. Arima, thanks so much.
But we have not yet gotten a definition of laid back.
Morning caller, we still looking for a definition of lay back. What you mean by that? Lay back. Go ahead.
Push back for on the horizon. Well, boy, Andy, I wanna before I say this, Anderson, but I don't know. Sometimes I just love to hear you, but I really like that public servant contribution because she's coming some good point. To me, Andy, to me, layback meaning a lackadaisical, somebody who just in business or taking place, they just rock back, they're taking the time to really get up and really do something, you know, the law off now by the jacuzzi, you understand, the relaxing, you understand, that is my definition of being layback now by.
So
you understand?
So you believe, and what's your belief? What's your belief?
No, we just say.
Right, but your belief is what? That the opposition is layback, or you're just giving a definition?
Yeah, my belief is they are lay back too long, man. They lay back a little too long. Let me tell you something. Anderson, I want to deal with Anderson. Anderson is a man always let people know how much he loves country and how much he loves the opposition. All that we might be loving the opposition because we really don't like the PNM because of the works that has been doing, you know. But how much the opposition love we, boy? How much the opposition really love we? We loving the opposition and country. But how much the opposition love we? Because here we're going on. All the fight we that be fighting is not just for ourselves and country, that be for the opposition too. And how much the fight, the opposition fight for we the people on the ground by. They might like how I might talk about this is facts, this is the truth. You understand? Because soon as any government get in power, that's forget the people and them who are struggling and fighting to make sure they reach there, you know. Watch me. UNC? Pandey. Anderson, you did a long time too. All are we did trenches a long time. I could go way back before himself. Gladiator did. When Gladiator used to be struggling, although you was a pianist, a man used to blast the piano too, you know. When the strippers used to blast them. You understand? When they had the struggle on Iowa George Station, I think that was the war room. You understand? We did from way back when fighting for the UNC and this country, you know. I look on and listen, brother.
Morning caller. Access raise.
Pushback is coming soon. Andy.
Go ahead.
Yes, I want to say this morning to the people in the arbitration proceeding, Petro-Trin. I want to know all these people who entitled of getting a piece of that pie from the state. You already remember those people who ripped off the state with that fake oil matter. You, Mr. Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, I'm listening to you all, and I'm very focused on you all. We are going to keep you all who is close friends with that man. That man is a millionaire already. So that money that taxpayers is going to have to pay, it will be spreading between you and some big wigs in the party, in the PNM party. But let me tell you something. You all will pay back every cent. That investigation could never finish. Closed because of a made by the opposition. Why you all didn't investigate it properly?
Thank you. Last call. Morning caller. Final caller. Coming up next. Sense and sensibility.
Time going, boy. Time going, boy.
Time fly this morning, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good
morning.
Tomorrow we'll continue there. Good morning.
Yes, go ahead. Give us a definition.
Pushback for the awakening. This layback means that they just relaxing and waiting and watching with that eye to see what's going on, and eventually UNC will come out. They have to come out and help us, because what it is going on is pure torture, raping the industry, killing everybody with this vaccination. What else they want? You understand? So they're just waiting, give them a little time, the opposition, and they will come with the people, and we will shut down this country. That is what we have to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Andy, I just want to say quickly, I will want to play devil's advocate, but of course tomorrow we have run out of time, and take the side of the opposition and see whether or not they have in fact been laid back or in any way because of their aggression, and maybe realizing that they are the beneficiary of issues such as laid back, such as what has happened in Tobago and so on, and then we probably could come with a closer reality check, rather than, of course, just making statements that may not be nestled in reality. So tomorrow I will want to play devil's advocate in favor of the UNC, and I'm saying that my position is tomorrow that they are not. Others are saying that they are. And then, of course, we'll have a healthy conversation moving out from that.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago, you all heard that. While we put things in place, so Mr. Amaru, Sense and Sensibility, morning caller. Let me just take one more. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And tomorrow, Lennox Smith will be playing devil's advocate. Remember, what's a devil's advocate? Eh? Meaning he in for, he in against, but he will stand in a position just to make conversation. Morning caller.
One day, I know what they say.
At the end of it all,
the pushback in the political thing, right?
Agree to agree. Good morning.
Right? Well, let's say the pushback in the political thing. But you know, type it on the chat.
Listen, I
all of that money that the people pass themselves. Huh? You take the opposition that put in your place. Only the people pass it. Don't you gotta bring it? If it's not don't you bring in a little refreshment like water and thing. Nobody opposition. Castabella look something but who not pass it, get them pass it. That's a shameful on me. I don't want the definition of how the saying Kamala, all of opposition MPs and senators breaking the bottom. What are people doing for them? Don't tell me that thing is not political. Politics. What is politics? I don't want to be man and beat them here. They'll fight them for country. I want to be politics like them too.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, don't forget tonight, Corridor Transformation, Lennox Smith, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. in fact, on Facebook. Coming up next, Sense and Sensibility, Robert Amaru. Oh boy, After God Family comes first. Be safe on the roads. Until tomorrow morning, please God, the Pitbull, Lennox Smith, Mikey K, Director Cuff, we are out of here.
Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Disclaimer. More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth. But we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
Home is where you can foster new memories, where you can rejuvenate. Home is where love is, a peace of mind. Home is a house with a land to expand. Home is at the serene Guacano Park or the gated sanctuary of Ella Vista Gardens. (59721-9186) or 379-8990. DG Homes, modern and luxurious living for all.
Shiny and Ari, restaurant number 67, Western Main Road, St. James, opposite Standard. For breakfast daily, Monday to Sunday, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. On the menu, sada roti, fry bake, roast bake, pie, coffee, tea, Milo, vegetable pizza, pancakes with assorted vegetables. Lunch specials daily from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Chicken pilau, $25. Assorted lunch from $25 to $40. Soup specials and crab and dumpling. Delivery of food available. De la a la carte on the pavement from 6 p.m. until burgers, chicken sandwich, hot dogs, fries and chicken, nuggets, shrimp burger, gyros, and anything else you can think about. Call 382-9347 to place your orders 7 days a week.
Hey, Lady G, let's have some. You juice. You juice. And when me drink, we got a natural boost. Ginger, lime, and turmeric. Keep away every sickness. Get a bottle of this real spice. And make a healthy choice in your life. And let me drink up the juice. And let me drink up the thing from the roots. And let me drink up the thing from the fruits. The you juice.
She's beautiful,
talented, and this is her time.
You have me singing 911 emergency.
TNT, you are invited to Soca with her.
Soca with her.
Special edition.
Celebrating a star who has arrived. The queen of Soca, Patrice Roberts.
Drink water and mind my business.
The superstars of Soca, backed by the 18 band, all in one amazing show.
Carnival Wednesday, February 23rd at Naparima Bowl Amphitheatre.
Tickets available at islandeticket.com.
Bellini's Drug Mart, Sutton Street, San Fernando.
For more information, call 774-5555.
All health and safety protocols in full effect.
Better days are coming, change your ways.
Carnival Wednesday, February 23rd,
2022. Soca with her.
Looking to complete your home or private project? Well, the place is Midland Hardware. We carry a large selection of roofing and plumbing supplies, lumber, steel, water tanks, and much more. Get your sand and gravel by the bag, yard, or load. No one beats our prices. Visit us at the corner of Sinclair Road and Eastern Main Road, 5 Rivers, or call 646-2144. Midland Hardware.
At Queens Beach Celebia Resort, Spa and Conference Center, we have mastered the luxury of getting away from it all. Guests can enjoy our ultra-premium spa or our canopy lounge, nestled in the Orchid Garden, surrounded by lush tropical sights and sounds of the ocean. Queens Beach Celebia Resort, Spa and Conference Center, your eco-friendly resort oasis, located on the northeastern coast of Trinidad. For reservations, please call 226-1456, front desk or mobile 460-4575 and 370-0501.